Hey guys, it's Bully from Bully's Painting Parlour, and we're going to rock straight back into lesson 4 part 2, and we're going to be putting another layer of light on top of the Gorfang model that we've been working on so far. At the minute you can still see that the shiny paint on this model is wet. Now I've cleaned the airbrush out in the way that I've shown you how to do it a few times now. All I'm going to do now is knock the pressure back up again, because obviously I had it down really low. I'm going to knock the pressure up to 25. Let's get some air flowing through this, and I'm going to just dry the model with the airbrush as we talked about before. So there's no pull back at all on this. I'm just using the air running through in a circular motion. You'll notice so far in this process I've not had any tip dry at all. My airbrush hasn't clogged or blocked at all. There's two reasons for that. Number one is I'm using the right correlation of paint and pressure, and number two is my dunk and clean method actually back flushes the airbrush all the way through the channel, and it cleans out any dried crap, and a little bit of fairy washing up liquid works wonders. Obviously we're going to use proper airbrush cleaner when we clean the airbrush down later, but for mid painting there's no reason why you should spend hours changing colours. You want to be an efficient airbrush artist, you need to learn how to just get crack on. People often comment that I'm really quick at painting. I'm not really quick at painting. Painting takes me ages, just like it does for everybody else. I'm just quicker at the basic management of doing the airbrush phases. Okay, so what's great is you can see this model changing colour as it's drying. The Scale 75 paints have a tendency to do that, and if you're not used to it, it can be a bit of a pain in the ass. Okay, so the next Scale 75 paint I'm going to be whacking on is a fantasy colour, and it's Harvester Flesh. So we're working up now, much lighter. So we are going to pop this colour on, and we're going to leave the lower sections, and we're going to feather into the lower sections a little bit more. Wow, that was a wet paint. So this paint's really thin. I'm only going to add a tiny little bit of thinner to this paint, and I think that should be sufficient. And I'm probably going to have to drop the pressure on this again, but we'll do the whole hand test. It's just the most reliable way to go about doing it. Right, let's get my hand on camera. Actually, no, we're doing all right. The feathering on that is fine. So we're gonna work in and cut through. So I'm going to start on the upper section of the model again, and I'm going to pick the points of light first, and we're going to flesh it in. And again, the pre-shades that we put on earlier are still showing through these translucent layers, which gives you the optical illusion of the fact that it's extremely complicatedly shaded, which I suppose it is, because we're working up an awful lot of colours. But I'm just coming in again, working from the premise that the light is going to be working down. I'm going to keep the darker areas, and then what I'm doing is a circular motion, because I am feathering the paint in to the darker pink. Okay, now I'm going to come back and I'm going to concentrate on the side of the face that's not getting picked out as much. Just across the top of the head, and then we're going to work in spots all the way along the model, back up to the top and all the way back down again. I'm going to work on this crown of the head a little bit more here, because that's resisting the colour holding a little bit. It's going to be red anyway, so it doesn't matter, but just going to feather in onto those veins and in some of the sections with some spots. Going to pick in the darker shades. And there we go. He's looking a little bit less like a giant penis now, and a bit more like an earthworm. Just right airbrush into its rack. We'll bring it in and try and get a look at it again if it focuses.